Greetings, Lady Shepsa Jones from Let Go, Let Goddess, coming to bring you your Goddess love letter for this week. Goddess, I love you and I want you to reclaim your womb power. Okay, it is time for us to reclaim our sacred yoni power, our sacred punani power, whatever word that you like to use. I like yoni, I like punani, I like the other P word too. I don't want my YouTube to get flagged. I don't know if it gets flagged, but anyway, I posted a picture on my Instagram today that said, I did not come from your rib. You emerged from my sacred yoni. Okay, so I wanted to create this video to go along with that post and to really break this down so that we understand the need and the importance of reclaiming our yoni power, our womb power, the power of our womb space. Even if you've had a hysterectomy and have had the physical organ removed, I always teach my clients that the energetic womb is still there. All right, just like when a person gets their arm cut off, they still feel the spirit of that arm itching. They call it a phantom arm, but energetically it's still there. So the womb is still there, even if you have had the physical organ removed. Okay, so we must reclaim the power of our womb. So I'm going to give 3 tips for you to be able to put this into action. 3 tips that you can utilize today. So the very first tip to reclaiming your womb power is to clear the curse. Clear the curse. So because of Western religion, many of us grew up with a story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, and Eve eating of the forbidden fruit, listening to the serpent, and thus getting cursed. Adam gets cursed, and the snake gets cursed, and everybody gets kicked out the garden, and all of a sudden they can see their nakedness and innocence is gone. All right, so we can look at this story in many different ways. However, in the Western tradition, what has been really spoon-fed to us is that Eve gets cursed in her womb. All right, she's cursed to experience pain in childbearing, right? And through her childbearing years, which basically equals that. She'll have painful menstrual cycles and then pain with childbirth. So when you're fed that story from when you are a little girl and you are in church or you're reading the Bible or whatever, you just hear it in the books and in the media, you grow up thinking, wow, something is inherently wrong with me, but specifically with my womb, right? When Adam gets cursed, he's cursed to have to work the land by the sweat of his brow, okay? And especially now, and I'm sure even then, those, biblical times, quote unquote, men and women both work the land and by the sweat of their brows. So what is this curse really about? Adam didn't get cursed in his balls, okay? But Eve got cursed in her womb space. So when we grow up with that, we think that something is inherently, even at a subconscious level, we think that something is inherently wrong with us being female and being born with a womb and a uterus. So we think that having menstrual cramps is normal and having a painful menstrual cycle is normal, and it's this cursed thing that we have to bear. And oh my God, I hate it so much. I wish I didn't have a period. I'm sure a lot of us have said that. I used to say it before I knew and I healed my relationship with my womb. We think that childbirth has to be this painful, horrible experience. Like, oh my God, why do we have to go through so much as women? A lot of us have said and thought. However, we know that those ideas are rooted in patriarchy. They're really rooted in the fear of the power of the divine feminine to create life in her womb. And our sacred womb space is not cursed. It is not a curse. It is a portal of creation and a portal of power. So the very first thing we need to do when we want to reclaim our womb space is to clear the curse. Even if you don't believe those stories and that religion, subconsciously, a lot of that has embedded itself into our psyche. Even the way we think about our menstrual cycles, we're taught to hide it. We're taught to be ashamed of it. We're taught that it's something dirty. We don't talk about, our menses or our moon cycle, when it really is something that is powerful and holy. And I go into it in my coaching programs. I don't have time to fully go into it today, but I want you to clear the curse and reclaim the power of your womb. Know that it is a sacred gateway. And actually, when you do the work to heal your womb, you won't have a painful menstrual cycle. I don't have a painful menstrual cycle. What I have is a time of sensitivity to spirit. And during that time, my time of the month, I slow down as much as possible. I allow myself to feel my feelings because that sensitivity is there for a reason. And when we are able to not have painful menstrual cycles, we could actually receive spiritual messages during our time of the month. We could actually be a channel and a conduit as our body releases and lets go. It's something extremely powerful. All right, so that's tip 1, clear the curse. Tip 2, investigate your womb space. Investigate your womb space. Many of us don't actually know what lies in our womb, and I'm talking about energetically, okay? So we hold a lot of emotions in our womb. Some of us actually have growths there, such as fibroids and things like that. So I encourage every woman to really investigate with her womb. Spend time playing, like as I'm doing, putting your hands on your womb, closing your eyes, breathing into your womb, connecting in your womb space, asking for messages, for images, for insights, journaling how your womb is feeling. Allow your womb to speak to you. And this is also a process I take my women through in the coaching programs. We have different meditations and processes that we do to actually connect to our womb and to receive messages. And you'll find that she is a powerful portal of energy. And that, unfortunately, a lot of times we hold things here that need to be let go. And this is, again, taking it back to our moon cycle, why it's such a powerful time, because it is a time of sacred release from the womb. But a lot of times we're holding on to things, we're not letting them go. So we may feel heaviness in our womb. We may have those painful menstrual cramps. We may experience womb diseases like PCOS or endometriosis or heavy and painful menstrual cycles. So we want to really connect with our womb and listen to her and find what is the message that she has for us. How is she feeling during the various times of the month, right? What does she need? Does she need more nurturing? Does she need more warm foods, teas and soups? It's winter right now, so if you live someplace where it's cold at this time of the year, you should be feeding your womb nice warm fluids, teas, herbs, soups, and things like that. Okay? And tip 3, you have to connect to your womb. All right? As I said, go down deep and investigate and connect to your womb, and also find out, what does she want to birth? What does she want to create? Okay, this is a sacred portal of creation for, yes, babies and children, but we know some women choose not to birth in this life, physical children, and it's okay. We can still use our womb power to birth our ideas, to birth our creative visions, businesses, jewelry, dance, some good love making, okay? The womb has her own natural creation channel. And when we are not centered and grounded in our womb, then our wombs can tend to grow cold. And when it grows cold, we can tend to become infertile. Now, yes, that could look like being infertile physically, where unfortunately we may be unable to conceive and hold a child in our womb, but it can also look like becoming infertile spiritually, where you are basically dead to life. You're cold in your womb, you're cold in life, you don't have a lot of passion, you don't have a lot of zest, you don't have a lot of energy. You're kind of just moving through life and going through the motions. You're not connected with your womb and your heart. And I consider the heart and the womb to be very connected. In Tantra, we're taught that they're on the same channel. And in Taoism, it says the same thing. They're on the same sacred channel, our womb and our heart. So these two creative spaces, the heart and the womb for women, are very connected. We actually need to be very grounded and centered in both. In doing so, this helps us to birth our creations into the world. What does your womb want to create? What is trying to be birthed through you? Okay, so those are 3 tips to reclaiming your womb power. Number 1, clear the curse. Number 2, investigate what's in your womb energetically and physically. And number 3, connect to your womb. Find out what she wants to create, what is trying to be birthed through you. Okay, so hopefully you found these tips helpful. And if you want to take this deeper, I definitely invite you to join my Badass Goddess on Fire coaching program, which begins very shortly from the posting of this video. Not sure when you see it, but it begins this Thursday, January 27th, with a very special orientation and intention setting ceremony. And then we have our first ritual January 30th, but we will be doing an ancestral healing and empowerment ceremony, because the work that we do is not just for us. It's for the women before us who didn't have the opportunity to do this work, because maybe they weren't taught to connect to their womb. They were too busy working hard and trying to provide for their families, or maybe they were too beat down by patriarchy and didn't have the space to be soft and to relax and connect to their womb space. So definitely invite you to join us and to check out the coaching program. The link will be somewhere around this video, depending upon where you see it. And we will talk soon. Goddess blessings, Goddess, I love you. And I want you to reclaim your womb space. Thank you.